let me just say this, okay? I fucking love Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. Love this movie. This has a very good chance of making my year-end list. I gotta say, this has been a great 5 weeks of the year so far, 6 weeks, however long we're in now, of movies. There's been some good ones, and this is on the list. Now, I would get nothing but crap because this movie was supposed to come out last summer. I got nothing but crap with all my friends talking about how excited I was for this thing. This Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. This movie is very much like a wave, okay? You either ride it, you attempt to and sink like a stone, or you ignore it and say, who the hell would want to go near that? I rode this wave until it crashed into the end credits. From the first trailer of this movie, you should know whether or not you want to see this thing. And I'll say, if you're a fan of comedy, you're a fan of absurd, silly comedy that doesn't take place really in any kind of reality, you need to watch this thing. This is a wonderful comedy. It stars Annie Momola, and was a writer on Bridesmaids, and I think a co-actor in that movie too. And Kristen Wiig. They play Barb and Star respectively. They're these two middle-aged Nebraska women with like Yooper-esque, like Yooper dialect and how they speak. And essentially, the movie is about the two of them. They lose their job, and then they hear from at a furniture store. They lose their job, and then they hear from a friend that who went to Vista Del Mar. It's like an island of Florida. Like, it's a really nice place. You two deserve a vacation. You're both single. Go there and have some fun. So they do. And I'll say this: the marketing of this movie did a great job of hiding the villain of this. There's a whole subplot, and I hesitate to even explain the damn thing. But essentially, there's the villain of this movie, whose name's something ridiculous like Sharon Gordon Fisherman or something like that, and is played by Kristen Wiig as well. The villain of this movie wants to unleash, to exact her revenge on the island of Vista Del Mar, wants to release these like genetically modified mutant killer mosquitoes on the island. And she sends her henchman, played by Jamie Dornan, down to the island to like get on the good side of Barb and Star, but then winds up falling in love with Star. The two start experiencing like the rivalry for the first time in their life. They try to pine for the affection of Edgar. Meanwhile, they have a real shot of potentially like dying from this mosquito infestation. This movie is nuts, and it's so serious, so silly. The plot is total folderol. Let me just say that. There's no desire on part of Molo and Wiig, who wrote this movie, to commit this story to any kind of believable reality. There's musical numbers, there's parachuting culottes, there's a talking crab named Morgan Freeman. Notice what I did there. It's all part of this ridiculously zany story that's so much fun. It's a cornucopia of color. Cinematographer Toby Oliver kind of takes a page out of Kyan Tran. I can never remember if I'm saying their name right. Kyan Tran's book from Palm Springs, the cinematographer for that movie. And just the aqua water, the radiant colors, how vibrant this movie is. This movie's gorgeous. And just the costumes. And it shows the comic power of Kristen Wiig and Annie Momola. There's a really good scene when they're on a plane, where they're going to take a plane ride to Vista Del Mar. And they're both talking about how much they love the name Trish. And the whole plane ride is them going back and forth, creating this fictitious person named Trish. And like, oh, she loves the number 4. Oh, but she does not like the number 6. And they go back and forth the whole damn play ride, just like coming up with this whole story, right down to the point where she died. Like, they're getting off the plane talking about how Trish succumbs to her death. And damn, dude, like, this goes on for 2 minutes, and I believe it was improv, because it shows you the comic, how these two can freewheel with one another, how comfortable they are with one another. And this movie too, let me just say this, does the impossible. Kristen Wiig and Annie Momola's script, and Josh Greenbaum, who's the director of this, they gave Jamie Dornan an ounce of charisma. He's pretty good in this thing. Like, he actually has some really funny moments. Yeah, they give him a personality, and he's kind of
backhanded compliment I've heard.
Yeah, you sit through 3 50 Shades movies and you come see me. Moreover, though, I love a good soundtrack too. And Barb and Star is full of really fun original songs and also great uses of some deep cuts like Bertie Higgins' Florida, which I always thought sounds like a stock kind of music song, but it works in the way they use it here. And they also have this really awesome druggy remix of Jimmy Buffett's Cheeseburger in Paradise that, Jesus Christ, I love that whole scene. But anyway, this is Momolo and Wig's comic opus, to say the least. Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar is what cult classics are made of. In a just world, we'll get a sequel to this movie. And there's even one excellent cameo I don't want to ruin either for the audience. It's $20 to rent. Highly recommend you do. I laughed my ass off throughout this movie. This would have been a beautiful piece of summer escapism, but it's really a fun comic romp. I think it's the best thing Kristen Wiig has put her name on, and that says something because Kristen Wiig's done some really outstanding work over the last several years. This is 3.5 out of 4 stars for me.
Wow.
Loved every minute of Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. It might make my top 10 of the year list, and I can't wait to be blasted by these guys. See this movie, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar.
We have not seen it. I can't judge it.
Yeah,
I cannot judge it.
I'm not like my friends who would totally jump on me for saying something like that. No. I totally get it. When I came out of the theaters and I was like Paddington 2, best movie of the year, and everybody jumped on me, I was like, just go see the movie and then talk to me.
I will say, this movie is also not going to be everybody's bag. It's not going to be everybody's bag. But it's... Yeah. If you want to have fun and you're into these like absurd, silly, kind of novel idea comic romps, this does it well.
Steve, what you described about where Barb and Star talk about, they riff for like 2 full minutes about this fictional person named Trish, and they keep doing that running joke. That sound like on paper, that sounds like something that every single comedian led comedy movie tries to do, but horribly fail. Like the only time I've discounting this movie because I haven't seen it, but the only time I've really seen that is like The Other Guys, Adam McKay's The Other Guys, starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, where Will Ferrell goes on like a 2-minute tirade about being a shark who goes on land to eat Wahlberg or something. I don't know. But like, if you said that they were able to successfully like riff for that long and like actually improvise something good and accomplish what so many other comedians have tried to do, like say in The Lovebirds or whatever, then you know what? I should give this movie a watch as well.
I think you guys will enjoy it. Maybe not as much as me. I'm weird like that, but I had so much fun with this movie. Like I said, in a just world, we'll get a sequel to it. I don't know if they will, though. I don't think this movie was particularly cheap to make because they haven't released the budget of it. But like, there's a lot in this movie. There's a lot of extras. There's a lot of decent names in this. There's a lot of color, sets, costumes. I would guess this was probably a $25 to $30 million production. I mean, this is not a cheap movie. It doesn't look it, at least. Especially for some high-dollar cameos, too. And like I said, including one I don't want to ruin at the end. See this movie, though. You can rent it on Amazon Prime, Google Play, Vudu, all the like. It's $20 now, which also kind of pisses me off, too, because it's like Our Friend. I try to recommend these movies to people that are, like, really good, but then they're, like, turned off by the thought of paying $20 for them, which, like, pisses me off to a certain degree because it's like I wish these movies were cheaper or they were on service because all the crap movies half the time it seems like go to these services, and then like the other ones that are really good are supposed to go to theaters you got to pay $20 for. That's unattractive to a lot of people. But I'll end by saying this: Judas and the Black Messiah is on HBO Max. Barb and Star is on premium video on demand. You won't go wrong watching either movies, in my opinion.